Okay. So
Yes.
hi, I'm Artem. I'm a full stack developer at rather small company at Poland called A4B, and I'm doing stuff in cloud for almost 5 years. So just discovered Wing like a year ago from one of the Hacker News posts, and from then I just started writing articles and spreading Wing and trying to build stuff with it. So yeah, um, so I want to talk about the Wing talk I did in February. It was at the AWS user group in Wrocław. So basically, the idea of the talk for the meetup came suddenly, but I often submit proposals at the conferences on the topics I'm eager to discuss, and Wing was among those due to not only like innovative, how innovative it is, but also about how we can discuss a lot of interesting stuff around it, a lot of interesting concepts, and specifically, I find Wing a great subject because it allows the discussions about paradigms, and paradigms is like a good thing to talk about on the meetups. So I was uh, greatly inspired by Elad's presentation on config management, I believe in Ghent, which began with the discussion on abstractions and how we tend to simplify things to make our life easier. Um, so basically, um, I tried to speak about three major approaches of building cloud applications and showing like how we simplify things with Kubernetes. Then we have serverless, which is more higher abstraction, and maybe like highest abstraction, which is SaaS. So platforms like Versal. Mm, and serverless was like the I tried to showcase the pros and the cons of each solution. Serverless seems like a solution having significant pros like flexibility comparing to SaaS, or and the ease of use and management comparing to Kubernetes. And in terms of the problem I set up at the very beginning of the presentation, which was in order to build great products, great startups, we need to iterate fast. Serverless seemed like a perfect choice, so I jumped into some basic flow of creating basic application with API and Lambda, and showing how it could be done with Terraform. So more like from the infrastructure perspective. Um, and we all know that it requires some deep understanding of the cloud, the specific cloud. In this case, I built everything on AWS. So signing policy to the Lambda, assigning permission for the API gateway to execute Lambda, and so on. And after all these steps, we have a working solution. Yeah, you have a question.
Yeah. Did you do it first without Wing, or you
Yeah,
directly
yeah,
jumped into implementing it with?
yeah. The idea was that I will like show the maybe the easy application, but overall highlight the things that probably experienced cloud developer will do in a couple of seconds. But if we are not so experienced, we should have this in mind, like creating policies and all these complex steps just to run a simple application which will return some responses from the API. Yeah, one more question.
One more. It's actually a comment. So every time we go to a conference and we are at the booth doing the demo, we always show that. And every time we do that, I'm amazed by how Wing does it, so like how it simplifies all of those policies. And it's like you just write a code instead of blocks in the configuration files.
Yes, exactly. That's what I try to show there also. So at the end of this, where we have already a solution, but few questions still remaining, and I try to highlight them that, for the cloud developers, there could be some setups already available, like, I don't know, local stack for testing things locally. But I personally met guys from different backgrounds, and most of the like backend backgrounds, which guys who are starting to build things in the cloud, are the first question they ask: how to test this? How to test if, I don't know, the file is saved to the bucket? And the answer to this question is it's complicated. Whether you have, I don't know, to write unit tests which will mock the APIs itself, the services, the libraries like Moto in Python, or you have to use some emulation like local stack. So that's one of the questions. The other question is, isn't that too much cloud native? Like, am I not too connected to the cloud right now to couple to their services? What do I do if I need to migrate to other environment? Yeah, so after all that stuff discussed, I showed the simple application written in Win. So I don't know if
What resources did you have there?
I can show you
Yes,
the
that would be
code.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Yes.
I found it like 3 seconds ago. Okay, I cannot
No
share my
pressure.
screen. I don't know why. It says, sorry, an error has occurred when screen sharing.
Okay, you can maybe share a screenshot. I don't know, to the chat window maybe.
Are you using Chrome?
Yeah.
So maybe you need to allow the video camera settings on Chrome, in Chrome settings. You need to give it access.
Oh yeah, okay, I got it. I was trying to share the window itself. So it was not really complex application. It was the API with 2 endpoints. I called it REAS. It's Generation Z slang for like charisma. So it was using underneath. It was using the OpenAI API to generate some kind of pickup line based on the location. And in my case, I was on this meetup, so I generated some pickup line for this location particularly. So it involved this API, the queue, which was where the message was pushed from the post, and that's and the get endpoint. So that's basically it. Nothing too complicated. But one thing I had to show to the guys and in meetup that like constructs like table could be wrapped around some class. I called it stats, and here I am adding a simple statistic, which is counting the number of words which from the sentence which was passed into the post, and just like that, I think. Yeah, I don't see where I'm using it actually. Probably I deleted in some testing, but anyways, I just oh yeah, it's here. Yeah, it's here. So that was like probably the point which was involved in many discussions after the talk about how actually you could wrap pre-flight into some in-flight, and that just works like magic. It wasn't really that simple to understand by a lot of guys from the meetup. They thought that like Wing is probably another infrastructure is called tool, was compared to the other tool, which is I forgot the name of it. SST, SST. So the guys were asking how is it similar to SST, and if there is a comparison. That's why I wrote on my blog post that we need a comparison. But yeah, overall the feedback was that the project is pretty interesting, and it could really simplify the development of the application with all the local emulation, and no need to worry about the underlying infrastructure at all. So yeah.
How long was the talk, Artem?
I had only 45 minutes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so
Sounds like you nailed it.
to try to make some live demo, but due to the lack of time, just show the ready code. But yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, a lot of interesting stuff also related to AI is about to come. So stay tuned for your next talk. You will be able to add some AI aspects, which is very popular right now. Love it. Any question, people? All righty. Thanks so much, Artem.
Thank you.
Next is Ayush. Are you good to go?
Yeah, sure. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay.
We can hear you.
So great. So as it's my first community call, so I would like to start with my introduction itself. I'm Ayush Thakur. I'm based in India and currently working as a developer advocate, a community manager, and a technical content creator. And it's been around 4 years that I'm working professionally in this tech industry. And I got to know about Ping in the last year, December itself. So it's been around 3 to 4 months that I've known Ping and I'm working with it. And actually, I got to know about Wing one day. I was scrolling my Twitter feed, and a tweet regarding Wing just popped up. I clicked it, I tried it, and I liked it. So I just randomly commented on the tweet itself. And from there, Nathan contacted me to write a blog for Wing. So from there, I started exploring about Wing, experimenting with it, uh, understanding it, how Wing works, how it is different from other uh, programming languages currently present in the market. And yeah, that's how my journey with Wing started. And I started with creating a basic React app by following the workshop Wing plus React, and I successfully created it. And after a few days, Nathan told me to create basically a Next.js app, because till now no app has been created using Next.js and Wing. So I took this challenge and I started working on it. And after a couple of days, after a lot of debugging and a lot of coding sessions, I successfully created it. Although it was a very raw app, very basic app, but I somehow was feeling proud that yeah, I'm the person that did it, and I can share my screen it with you also to give it a demo if that talks. Okay.
Sure.
Perfect.
Sure. Okay. So I guess my screen is visible now. Is it?
It's almost visible.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good. So here's basically the main.w file that Wing basically creates. And here, uh, although I have used uh, the the code that was present in the GitHub repository, the Wing plus React GitHub repository, I used that code itself, but I did tweak it a little bit to run it accordingly, to make it comfortable to run it accordingly to the Next.js app, because obviously Next.js works a little bit differently with React. So I tweaked a little bit, and here I basically added this line of code. This if not node of this dot app does is a test environment. Basically, this line is checking in the windows in the whole window object to check whether the app object is currently present in the window object, and in that object is test environment is present or not. Because here I am basically checking whether this is test environment property is present or not. If it is not present, only then this whole code works. Okay, and here I use that simple basic React tab that you can find on the GitHub repository. And here I have added the demo response object so that this whole object gets stored in the API that we have created using the Wing language. And for whole uh, this whole object is saved in the Wing API, the backend API, and from here I'm trying to fetch it using the Next.js app and display it accordingly. Okay, so I'll just run it. Wing run main.w. Okay, so it should run. Okay, I guess it's work. Okay. I hope it doesn't show any error. Okay, good. Okay, it is working. Okay, good. It is working perfectly. And this was the Wing backend to obviously host the API. And now I'll try to run the Next.js app for that. First, I'll obviously dive to the Next.js app and npm run dev. Sorry. Okay, so when I hit it, you'll see a fraction of second. A spinner will load. You'll see that spinner for only a fraction of second. That shows that the data is getting fetched from the backend, and when the data gets successfully fetched, the spinner will disappear, and the successful message will pop up. Okay. Okay. Okay, it's working. Okay, good. At localhost 3001. Okay.
By the way, Ayush, How did you fix the port issue thingy?
I'm still working on that issue because obviously in Next.js app, the port thing works a little bit differently in comparison to React. I'm still working on that bug, on that error. I still haven't fixed that bug right now, but it is working. I'm still working on that bug. I'm still working on this whole app because obviously this is a very raw app, very static app. It doesn't, you cannot show any data statically. I'm still working on this app to make it more dynamic for a better use case. Okay, so yeah, here's a spinner, and see only for a fraction of a second you will see that spinner, and after the spinner gets disappear, obviously the data gets successfully fetched. So all this data, all this textual data you are seeing here, whether it's the docs title, whether it's the find in depth information about being text, whether it's the backend link present here. If I click on it, so it will divert us to the Bing website itself. So all this data, all this textual content, all the link present in this whole app is getting fetched from the Bing backend. And obviously, this is a very dynamic, very raw app. I'm still working on it to make it much more dynamic for the users. I'm still learning about the file system that Wing supports so that I can make it more dynamic so that the user can enter the data, enter the desired data. That desired data gets stored into the Wing backend, and from there we can fetch it to the displayed on the Next.js UI. So I'm still working on that whole functionality.
Amazing. So it means that we will host you again
definitely,
soon.
Sure, definitely. And so,
wow, that's amazing. Any questions here? Any question from folks? I have one question. Did you have any? What was the most difficult challenge that you had to basically face with when it comes to Wing?
Comes to Wing, okay. So when it comes to Wing, as Wing obviously works as a backend language for a cloud programming language, of course. So I'm more of a front-end guy. I have worked with backend, but I do not have that much depth into the backend language. So obviously, I have to learn more about the Wing, explore more about how it works, how backend works, how it fetches the data, how we can store the data in it. I'm still, as I mentioned, I'm still learning how the file system thing works on the Wing. So learning a backend from the scratch, because obviously being a totally new programming language. So I'm learning more about Wing, exploring more about it, experimenting with it, how we can use it for a different use case, different scenarios. So I'm literally learning backend from the scratch. So it is a little bit difficult task for me, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the whole process.
Love it. And obviously, we're here for any question or feedback.
Definitely.
Or, you know,
and one more thing is I like to mention is this as every time I told you, we are organizing a React workshop in this weekend itself in my city, that is Delhi, and having around 100 developers across the state, and I'm going to host a workshop on that meetup. Obviously on Wing, that will be the title will be create a React object using Wing. So I'll be taking that workshop, having around 120 developers, professional developers across the city. So yeah, excited about it.
Wow, that's exciting. Will you get the chance to record?
Yeah, sure. Not the whole session, because obviously that is the offline workshop, not an online. So I'll be facing the developers face to face. Obviously, I cannot record that whole offline workshop, but I'll definitely have some pictures or have some clips to share it with you. Definitely.
Definitely, you share it with us. I'm waiting. I'm super curious. Wow, tons of luck.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions before we move on to Tzuf? Okay. If there is any question, always feel free to raise your hand, and we will respond accordingly. Okay, Tzuf, you're next. You'll need to introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Tzuf. I'm working with Vital Uri, Paul, Hassan, Elad, and Christian in the Wingland team. And it's a great place to work, obviously. I really enjoy. Today I wanted to show you something extremely cool, but it's not ready yet. So I will just show you a regular wing project, which is not as cool as the one that is not ready, but still very nice. So
I know, Tuf, I know. You just want to show up in the next meeting as well. We'll
Yeah,
have you. We'll be
yeah.
happy to have you.
I know. Every time Ravital is asking me to be in this meeting, I am very excited. So, a few, I guess, even months ago, we wanted to create a little raffle for people to have a chance to win a wing branded cap if they will show up to our Wingling show. And
Drinking some, I wanted to say coffee, but having a drink inside of this mug and watching the Wingley show.
yes, that was the small, not even a website, it's a landing page to a registration page to register everyone that wants to win that very beautiful cap. That later I learned that the right word for that it's a tumbler. So to win the tumbler, and
Tuf, may I interrupt?
yes,
I
sure.
just want to say one thing. I want to say that when we thought about the raffle, I brainstormed with Tuf, and I didn't even think that we will create a website. And then Tuf suggested, "Hey, let me build a website using Wing." And then I was, oh, okay, that's a brilliant idea, Tuf. So let's go for it. And then Tuf will talk about the experience.
So here you can enter your name and email. Oh, okay. That's a little bad. It doesn't let me to use my email. It got a regex underneath that doesn't think that my email was valid. So whenever you sign up, you are getting this nice page, and we are, Ravital and me, are getting a Slack message with your name and email, so we know that you are signed. So let me show you the code.
And just I will give a spoiler. The end result was that we had a lot of names, I think around 50, and 5 of them won a mug, a tumbler, or
yes,
whatever.
So it was a really nice and good experience writing it in Wing, and I was writing things in Wing in many of the levels and the maturity levels of the language, and now I think it's on a pretty nice level. So here is the resource of the website. It's using the older React app that we are going to deprecate soon. We are going to replace it with the Vite resource. This one that you can get from the Winglib, from a Winglib that is called Vite.
You can do bring Vite, I think.
Yes,
or
it will be. You will have to do npm install Winglids bit, and then here you can do.
So I will interrupt again, Suf. I apologize. I just want to call out the fact that we have a workshop for the Vite use case for this specifically, and we also have a project template where you can generate a new React Vite project, and it creates a lot of files. It's like it's a tiny app that does. Uri, thank you. Uri just pasted the link. It's a tiny app, but it basically connects everything. So I'll add the workshop, the tutorial to this chat as well, if someone
Also,
is interested.
I have another link for you. That's the guide from Eyal's last workshop, and I'm still using it every now and then when I need a new Vite resource. And I use it even today, and it was even a better experience than it was before. So
It's the tutorial actually, and
yes,
and I added a section there that explains how to generate the project template, and it's basically 2 lines of code that generates all of the files that Eyal is talking about in the workshop.
that's extremely cool. Okay, so let's go on. We got that website resource. We have a bucket that I just stored some URL in it, and we get a table that we register our users in. We got a bunch of tokens, one Slack bot. Soon we'll have a better Slack bot, but that just a very simple class with one in-flight post message method that will allow you to just post a message given those arguments, channel and text. And we got here an API resource that only allowing the website URL to access with post and get methods. When we have one get endpoint for the Wingly URL that is later used for after the registration ended, we just show them the Wingly URL so they can you can still see the Wingly, and we can post a new user. Of course, if there is no details or if the user already exists, we return an error. And if not, we insert the user to the table, and we create this really nice Slack message. Now, that's an interesting part. I have some tests here, and I wanted to be able to test what message we are getting from this piece of code. So if we are on a test environment, I place the message inside of the bucket, and if not, we are sending it via the Slack bot and return 200. So those are my tests. That's the test for the first static boring endpoint. And then we got the more interesting endpoint and a few variation to the body and the expected response. Those are invalid responses. It results with an error, and this is a valid one. And and this is a repeated one if we already got this user in, a user with the same email. And here we are testing the message. So if we are doing the wing it command, or even looking at it, oh, okay, it's opening it on the other one. So here you can see all of my resources. I got a few. And let's go back to the test.
So if we don't have a way to filter out some resources, for instance, resources like secret, which are really behind the scenes, they're not part of the logic itself.
I think it's a question for either Christian or Paul. They must know better.
Okay. Christian and Paul, whenever you get a chance to respond, that would be fantastic.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What's the question?
I ask if when you open the console, you see resources, but I also saw the secret resource. Is there a way to filter out resources within the console? So, because secrets, I don't want to see secrets. I want to see just, the...
Yeah, so from WinCode, you can hide the node. But from the console itself, you can't filter anything right now.
Okay.
So here you can do like node off, and you pass the token, and then dot hidden. Yeah.
Awesome. So if you're muted.
Oh no, I was muted for a long time. So here you can see that I already made one of the secrets go. I'll do the same for the other one. And it's gone as well. That's really nice. We can run the test here, which is also nice. I think that's all. We can maybe see that it sends a Slack message if you want, but I think that's all.
That's awesome. And it's also awesome to see you wrote it like a few months back. And if we would have to do it again right now, there are a lot of improvements in the Winglang area.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. Thank you, Tuf. Any questions? Tuf, I think we need to do another raffle soon.
Yeah, so now you will know how it's built, so you can just hack it and
Exactly.
duplicate the lines for your entry, so you will have a better chance.
Any question? Any feedback? Any topic someone want to raise? Okay, I'll give you 15 minutes back, I guess.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Ayush, are you there?